You maybe have heard the expression a nothing burger.
One area they took an issue with, they said the comment regarding smoking weed wasn't the wisest comment.
Folk, I honestly thought Doug was back in those caves smoking weed all over again.
You've said in the video, this is another question that I have, because I've done the video about you addressing Doug Batchelor statement on Project 2025 as a nothing burger. And there's no National Sunday Law there for us to be concerned about. One of the responses I've gotten from a lot of people on my channel, they were saying, I agree with Bill Hughes on this one. He was actually right. By addressing this, Pastor Doug needed to get a little slap on the hand for that one. But one area they took an issue with, they said the comment regarding smoking weed wasn't the wisest comment in the light of addressing that specific situation. Would you agree with them or disagree?
Pastor James, could that have been left alone? Sure, it could have been left alone. That comment didn't have to be stated. So I guess then the next question would be, well, why then would you say something like that? I have been extremely concerned with a number of things that have come from Pastor Doug over the last half a dozen years. I am in shock for a man of his understanding and learning to be making such statements. For example, and I will only say one, a little over a year ago, Gwenoon Diop made a comment at the spring meeting that if somebody speaks against other religions, they are a closet terrorist. And of course, the only two messages that we have that speak against other faiths are the second and third angel's message. Well, I wrote a letter to Pastor Doug and I said, Doug, you've got to use your influence. A lot of people listen to you. You have to say something. Because this man is calling those who give the second and third angel's message terrorists. I said, please say something. Warn people. The response I got back was simply, he said, I am not able to say anything because if I do, it would be detrimental to my ministry. A friend, and I've had about a half a dozen similar situations with Pastor Doug that absolutely alarm me. They absolutely alarm me. So I think probably the reason why I said about is he back smoking marijuana? Friend, some of the positions that Pastor Doug has taken they absolutely they've stunned me. Absolutely stunned me. And so saying what I did about is he smoking? Well, friends, I don't know how to grapple with why he would be saying the things he is, knowing what he knows. I just don't understand. So if I went too far with that, I can accept that. I can accept that.
Yeah. Thank you for that response as well. I do notice that in Doug Batchelor's ministry, and I tell people I love Doug Batchelor's ministry, but the issues happening within our church is oftentimes not highlighted. However, he does, one thing I noticed that he does, he trying to do things in ways, for example, bringing Barbara O'Neill to his ministry after she was pretty much renounced by the church because of some of the health practices that they had an issue with. That was a move that says something. And sometimes in some of his sermons, I've noticed if you listen, you have to listen carefully. You will notice he addressed them in principle, but he will not highlight the actual issue, which we're not afraid of doing that here because we are independent ministries. we, we can speak truth as God lives, so we don't have to worry about losing anything if it's given to us by God, and if He's taken away, only God can allow it to happen. So we don't have that fear. Our mouths are not closed because we don't have these little attachments. So I can understand if Pastor Doug wants to protect his ministry, but it does leave a negative look on. He can only go so far as addressing things. And I guess, but again, I have to say, not all of us are called to do the same work. Bill Hughes, you've been given this task. You carry this mantle in ways that very few is able to do, and you speak truth to power as God laid it on your heart to do. So I kind of understand not all of us are called to address everything the same exact way. And I learned to respect that as well. So, yeah, but I can understand if men like Doug Batchelor would speak the truth, oh boy, how much of a difference things would have been right now, So, yeah, we have another question from Donnie Wong Chow. Does our membership with the General Conference make us complicit with their sins and alliances with the UN and the Catholic Church? Wow, that's a mouthful.
Well, I think that comes back to corporate responsibility. The old saying is you put your money where your mouth is. So if I'm supporting, like say I know that ADRA is accepting UN and government money, or was, to help people come to America illegally, and I'm sending money, like Ted Wilson when he made the call to support ADRA when the U.S. aid was cut off there in the end of January. So if I'm supporting that and I'm not speaking out against it, do I hold some responsibility? Well, friend, I think I do. I absolutely think I do. Because if I'm supporting it with my finances and with my presence and not saying anything, am I inadvertently holding some responsibility? And I would say absolutely you are. Absolutely you are. And in my thinking, I'd want to stand up. If I heard about this going on, I'd want to stand up in a board meeting, in a church setting where it's appropriate, but express my concerns, express my horror at hearing such things. And so, yeah, I think we need to stand up and be accountable for what we believe, and let our voices be heard.